All right. I'm back. You know, I realize that in the, year, maybe 2 that I've been streaming, I've never gotten comfortable just staring at the camera like I'm looking at you. You know, so maybe that's a skill issue, but I look at myself not looking at you to make sure I don't look terrible all the time. Anyhow, now we're going to be playing a game called May I Take Your Order? So, I hope you're ready for love and tentacles. Because here we go. Oh no, it's downloading story. Man, this is instantly a mistake. I hate being in a jacket inside with no AC running. It's killing me, bro. And I'm like, look at how I have this, like a Eastern European hooker. Like, yes, hello. Hey, baby, you want to make a fuck? You know, it's not a good look. There we are. To any Eastern European viewers, come on, man. You know I'm right. Anyhow. There goes viewership in whatever country I'm insulting. All right. Downloading story. What have we here? Okay. I probably should have did all this while we were chilling, but hey, it is what it is. Oh, loading. Sick. Oh, it's so bright. I'm gonna let the music cook for a second. All right. Hold on. Let me get voice actory for a sec. Oh, I can actually put this to the appropriate size again. Ah, it's good to be a big boy again. All right. I've been filling out a few applications today, and this is the last one. I've been applying it to work at restaurants all over. It might not seem glamorous, but I want to see how different places are run. If I want to open my own restaurant someday, it's crucial to see what does and doesn't work. My friend told me I should save a top pick for last, and should really kick him for that. My hand's about to fall off. It's a pretty ritzy establishment, but comfortable. Fancy. Hold on. I've already decided that that needs to be lower. Maybe about there. We'll put them all there, but we'll keep the voices there. Fancy but not overpriced. Important clientele, but still kind and inclusive. If you can't make connections here, you're dead. Financially speaking. And the food? Remarkable. I've never heard of anyone ever having a bad meal there. I gotta know how they accomplish so much. So I try not to be too nervous and fill this out like it's any other application. My first name is... There we go, John. I was going to say John Badman, but hey, whatever. I fill in my address and try not to despair over my handwriting before getting to the personal section. Gender is... I'm a he. I'm a him. I don't know. What did I miss? What are you sold on? What did I do? The voice acting thing? Hello. How are you? Do we have a lady named John? Or do we prefer non-binary pronouns? I personally don't care, one way or the other. This is your viewing experience. I'm merely a vessel. Speaking of vessel, did y'all know that Sleep Token covered Hey Ya by Outkast? And I still haven't listened to it yet. I can only imagine it's going to be whack as fuck, actually. Because how do you top Outkast's rendition of their own song? Alright, we're going to be a dude. And I finished filling out the form. I capped the pen and leaned back in my chair. Man, it's nice to be done. But does it match the same energy that the original has? That's what I posit. Oh, I don't like your reasoning now. They only have 2 places to go. Well, 3 if you're brave. Anyhow, well, except for heading outside and turning them all in. One at a time. Better get to it. Okay. Maybe we'll give it a quick listen after this, alright? 2 weeks later, and I'm waist deep in my first Saturday shift at the restaurant. Busy doesn't even begin to describe it. I'm really paranoid. Hold on. Anything to distract from your viewing enjoyment. My microphone stand was making me nervous. Busy doesn't even begin to describe it. After 7 hours of the weekend rush, I'm ready to go home. Tell me that's not us. I stop off at table 6 and go through the motions. Thank you for dining with us, sir. My name is John, and I'll be your server this evening. He smiles at me. Ah, that's the diner. Pleasure to meet you, Mr. John. Have you dined with us before, sir? Yes, indeed. I'm quite happy to be back. Just you this evening, sir? No, my girlfriend will be here shortly. I don't know why his voice is like this. He's just giving me that vibe. I'll just have a cup of coffee while I wait for her. I'll go get that for you right away then. I don't know what that means or who that is, but let's have a quick peek. My mommy texted me, so I texted her back. Oh my god. This is embarrassing. So I was about to Google who Harvey from Stardew Valley is. I'm still going to. So Puddin sent me that banger of a text yesterday, and I just replied with my after stream trash can, which I don't know if you can see that. Hold on. Let's do this. It's just a trash can with beer piling up to the wall. Anyhow, I'm not proud or anything. I'm just saying. No trash can can hold me back. Alright, let me, Harvey from Stardew Valley. Kinda. Yeah, except for this guy looks like he's just figured out how to grow a mustache, so. Close, though. I'll go get that for you right away, then. No rush. Countless families and couples have come and gone today, but for the past hour, that one guy's been clogging up table 6. Are you doing all right, sir? He checks his watch again. Yes, I mistook the time. She'll be here any second. He's been saying that for the past 45 minutes. I'd tell him to pack it up and leave, but he doesn't have the look I'd expect for someone in his position. There's anxiety, but only a little bit. And there's no disappointment. Not a shred of doubt in his eyes. He really thinks... Excuse me. He looks up at me. It seems he's come to some sort of decision. Thank goodness. But this is a restaurant with crayons, correct? Tell me why I knew he'd ask for crayons. And I'll direct you to this. Mustache. He's... okay. Yes, sir. We have those for kids. Excellent. A sting of ferocity enters his eyes. One that doesn't quite pair naturally with crayons. Oh, God. One, please. And red if you've got it. Yeah. Sure. I'm not about to argue with a customer, so I head to the front. Not exactly usual, but the guy's been sitting here for half an hour with no phone. I'm caught between pity and irritation, and hope for the umpteenth time that he has enough empathy to tip well on a single cup of coffee he's been nursing. There's a small tin with several crayons. We try to keep the fresh ones ready. I grab... I mean... we want a tip, so of course we have to give him what he asked for. Snatch up a red crayon. No sense being mean to him. He may be weird, but he's probably having a bad night, too. I bring the crayon back over to him and hand it over. Thank you, Mr. John. It's no big deal. Hey, are you okay? I saw you don't have a cell phone, but we could call your girlfriend and... No warning, no nothing. He knocks everything off the table and climbs right on. What? Sir, please get down. His deft hand scrawls a wide circle, and then another, then sections off areas, slicing as though the crayon were a knife. She stood me up, so I'm going to make a girlfriend. Just draws on the tablecloth, puts tits on it, and goes, Isn't she beautiful? You know? But no. Then sections off areas, slicing as though the crayon were a knife. He fills it with symbols. They look almost like zodiac signs. Okay. Nobody clip me saying the first word here, because I don't want to get canceled. But, well, here it goes. Voice acting. Sometimes it'll get you canceled. Homo sum humani amen nihil alienum puto. What? Puto? Alienum puto. Alright. It's like I stood up too fast. There's a rushing to my head. But there's a pressure. Like homo. Hamon. Shimon. There's pressure. Like my ears are going to pop. Okay. Alright. Chill. I'm not gonna scream. The tablecloth rips, and there's a spray of sweet-smelling fluid. I leap away from the table as something bursts out. I don't want the fun tentacle times anymore. They have teeth. Can we choose another game? Mommy, I'm scared. Wet, spiked appendages are flailing all over, slapping and snaking their way over the windows and doors. They're fleshy, but soft. Too soft. And they mush and disfigure as they slam against everything in sight. One smacks the hat off another diner, who continues to eat her meal, unfazed. Nobody is screaming, and nobody notices me on the ground, arms raised to protect my face and throat too tight to scream again. But that's okay. The thing is screaming enough for the entire restaurant. It's letting out a dual-tone screech, high and low, but I can't discern one throat, let alone two. Motherfucking Tuvan throat singing ass monster. Anyhow, rip headphone users. Sorry. Crayon thrown to the floor. The guy stood up, and worst diner ever starts to call out at it. Sweetie, for goodness sake, put your body on. We're in a nice restaurant. It screeches and roars back at him. I know, but... He waves a bundle of cloth at it. I brought you some clothing. And it's super comfy. It slurps up the bundle of fabric, and the creature bubbles and draws back in on itself, twisting until... Until what, motherfucker? Suspenders? Ah. I emerge. You're here. You had me worried, so I figured I'd help break the barrier down a bit. Talioporia, you have no idea how good it is to see you. When he says that word, my ears finally pop and my teeth grit. It's a bad word. Not a curse word per se. Not so much a word you wouldn't say in front of your boss. It feels like the wrong answer in a classroom or meeting. The moment when everyone turns and looks at you. And you just want to sink through the floor. I just want to sink through the floor. Jazz music abruptly stops. I want to very quietly go get my coat, change my name, and move to whatever town is on the exact opposite point on the globe from where I'm currently standing. You informed me that the barrier was to be frail in this portion of your world. That voice is going to kill the vocal cords, but whatever. I will hold you responsible for the trouble. He's beaming at the thing that came out of the hole. But I can't look at it. It hurts to roll my eyeballs towards it. Like I'm dehydrated. When I close my eyes, the dark behind my eyelids is so cool and so soft. Huh? There are tears running down my cheeks. I hadn't noticed. The guy, Hendrik, beams and gestures towards the gaggle of eyes and puffy wool. This is my girlfriend, Talioporia. Impudent microbe. I may choose to craft for myself the form of a creator, a birthing one.
but I am capable of far greater creations than your prepubescent females.
I'm having fun. Especially saying
females. And far more ruinously, your inflated ego thinks I would deign to refer to you as any form of companion.
Her words wash over him like a gentle breeze. It looks like she could rip his face off. But her roars just make his eyes brim with joy.
We've been dating for about 400 years now. Though the long-distance thing is an eensy bit of an annoyance, we make it work.
The moment I finally devise an effective method of accomplishing your demise, I will rip your soul from your ever-regenerated body and chew it into a gruel.
Hopefully that didn't sound too grating for y'all. I hope it sounds good. Because it is tickling the old throat. And I ate some of my hair somehow in that whole process. He sits down at the all but destroyed table and picks up his menu.
But until that beautiful day when I can be with you forever, you're going to need to eat something else.
Talia Poria stops. She looks at me, and I bounce between eyes, trying to make contact with one that doesn't stare down into my deepest inadequacies.
There is human fuel here.
There's like a brown note that I am performing accidentally that makes my entire larynx vibrate uncomfortably. I nod. Her mouth breaks open into a smile.
Excellent. You are spared from punishment, Eldritch, if only for the moment.
She sits down, but not on a chair. Dozens of her tentacles are still present throughout the entire room, spikes driven deep into the surfaces, blocking all the exits. She settles into one of the squishy appendages, looking pleased.
So then, maybe we should order an appetizer.
It's not that I can't believe that this is happening. I have an open mind. But as far as sudden supernatural shifts to my life, I was really hoping for wizard school. Or just a plain old haunting. Some ghosts are pretty cool, right? At least with a zombie or something, I know the rules here. What are the rules with this thing? Do I throw rice on the ground to stall her? Will she attack me if I touch her with iron? I'd listen to my gut, but I can't make out anything but general foreboding. Demon? You summon demons, so that fits. But I don't know. Something doesn't seem quite right about that. Maybe she's a...
Excuse me.
Oh. I can barely think, but I can at least fall back on one set of rules. I struggle to stutter out the rote reply. Would you like to start off with a soup or salad tonight? The man grins and gives an eager nod.
Could I please get the blue cheese salad? And for my sweetie,
The Taliaporia rolls her eyes and teeth flash as she cuts in.
Eldritch, I've been on enough of these sham dates to know that ordering for your companion is rude.
I need to do vocal exercises for this. His face falls.
but it's been ages since you've eaten any food. You're chewing on the fork right now.
She gives him a glare and slowly places the slightly bent cutlery back down on the table. I can't read now.
Fine.
But before she can say another word, she makes her move.
I don't want your advice, though. I want the young human to choose for me.
All right, we may have to switch the voice because I'm getting a headache from coughing. God damn. Give me a second. I gotta splash some water on my face or something. I'll have a large whiskey and a small whiskey, and my wife here will have a water. Hell, make it a Pepsi. It is our anniversary. Sorry about that. My head started hurting bad, bro. Holy shit. Where are my headphones? All right. Sick. Oh, no. He sighs, annoyed. But he checks himself before looking at me. I think he knows that she's putting me on the spot. I can appreciate that he's trying to look out for me. I mean, I'd appreciate it more if he could have not summoned some kind of Eldritch thing during an already busy Saturday shift. Or at all. I ease my throat open enough to squeak out. Oh boy. So do we... For an appetizer, lamb chili? Lamb chili seems more on brand for an Eldritch horror than, say, tomato bisque. I come on the cracker. I mean... Okay, I'm glad we got there together, Liquid. Let's go lamb chili. It doesn't seem to mean much of anything to her. Great. And what would you like for your entree? She slams her fist down on the table. My stomach lurches.
First, bring me the matter. This physical form requires fuel to sustain itself.
I'm done. We're gonna change that voice now. I hope you enjoyed the very jarring first couple lines, but now my eyes are watered. Holy shit. I turn on my heel and fly out of there. An excuse to leave. If there's any kindly extra-dimensional beings looking down on me right now, I would like to take this opportunity to thank them. I rush into the kitchen. Back in the kitchen, everyone's still bustling about. Other servers are calling in their orders. The ambitious cooks are working. The slightly less ambitious cooks are cracking jokes with each other. They're as oblivious as the customers out front. You get a voice processor in June. I am a voice processor. I have what some people like to call generational talent when it comes to vocal stuff. That's a lie. I'm barely getting by right now. The problem is doing it quiet just tickles the throat. It doesn't hurt. It's just like it gets to a tipping point where it's like uncomfortable. It tickles. I got a cough, right? When I'm projecting and doing it, I have roommates. That's not going to happen. You know what I mean? But yeah. I can see my manager discussing some menu changes with the head chef. Hey, does anyone else see what's going on out there? But nobody turns to look at me. Hey, I'm serious. What the hell is going on? Are they ignoring me? Do you just expect me to come back here and bring in this order like nothing's wrong? I take a sarcastic tone. Yeah, we got a blue cheese and a chili for table 6. Just another usual night, right? Without warning, a tray with the order is put down on the counter next to me. But other than that, there's no hint of a glance. No guilty looks. Hey. Nobody even flinches. Fine. Looks like I'm on my own. All right, give me a second. I need to think of the voice I'm going to use for this person, creature thing. I also need to blow my nose, so I'm going to mute for just a moment. One of my nostrils is very clogged.
All right. And did I tell you how lovely your eyes are this evening?
From your ever-effusive sewer pile of compliments springs something worthwhile. I made most of them myself, but the eye in the center of my head was my reference object.
I couldn't even tell the difference. Your anatomy has gotten so much better since the last decade.
It is easier when I have a fresh supply of study materials. So I suppose I can remain here long enough to consume some matter. Let no sentient being claim that I do not repay my debts.
Well, that's just one of the perks of the job.
All right, Crow, I'm going to check those out in a second.
Teachers can bring home knowledge. Cooks can bring home food. And surgeons can bring spare body parts back to their girlfriends.
I can say with relative certainty that is not how it works. I'm liking the comedy here. I'm not going to lie. If I ever find out this man's last name, I am never going to his hospital. I serve Taliaporia, her chili, trying not to get too close. Please be careful. It's very hot.
Remember, sweetie, that too much heat can injure...
Silence, meat garden.
Meat garden. All right.
I know what to do with volatile heat sources.
She flings a scalding liquid across the table, and it hits Hendrix square in the chest. Ah! He rushes out to the bathroom, face red from pain. We don't serve our soups at the heat that could do permanent damage, but it still has to hurt. She closes most of her eyes and inhales, a deep breath, satisfied. When she speaks again, her rough voice has a tranquil tone.
Clean it up, human. This is an establishment with standards, is it not?
Well, it was, I mutter. The elegant charm might be a bit altered by the sudden presence of giant tentacles. She snuggles down into her seat.
This is a gift for your owners. This is a sliver of my true form.
Well, it's lovely. Sorry that you didn't like the chili.
Apology unnecessary, human. I enjoyed that immensely.
She sniffs the air.
And it smells nice as well.
She dabs a little of the meat on her neck.
This body has concentrated blood flow around the throat and wrists. These pulse points heat and disperse stray molecules of matter, allowing humans to perceive them with their noses.
She seems quite pleased with this luxury. She wraps the scarf around herself. Now that I think about it, the clothing Hendrik brought for her is all very heavy. A maxi skirt, a thick sweater, and a blanket scarf. The way you're clutching that scarf, are you cold?
You may not have my scarf. It retains my heat. I will continue to generate and retain heat, and it will belong to me, not you.
I take a step back. No, that's all your heat, fair and square. She growls. Happily?
Yes, all mine. Hendrik will be procuring more matter this evening, which will continue to power this form. Physical exertion is a luxury. The caloric energy necessary to move but a digit.
She lifts one of her own claws.
Is precious. I have gone for thousands of years lying in wait for foolish summoners to tear open rifts and let in the good heat from your world.
Dahlia Poria leans down on the table. The edges of the scarf trail into her chili. Or at least what's left of it. Is it selfish to be happy that she's disarmed now? I look at the still present tentacles and recalculate that statement. She at least cannot harm me with the soup. And that's something.
So human, do you enjoy generating your own heat?
Do we explain to her what a heater is? Because I feel like this could open up a whole world. We did a quick save. I'm hitting it with a... Is good. I'd rather just turn the heater on, though. When it gets cold, I can't bring myself to do much of anything, so I'll just turn up the thermostat. She slams a hand down.
No. This is unacceptable, lazy human. In the void there is no heat. There are no suns off of which to leech like some creature that lives off the blood of another.
I don't think she knows that the verb correlates to an actual animal.
You need to be more grateful.
And Hendrik returns. So the heater was not the move.
Getting along well?
As well as might be expected.
Still, thank you for keeping our company. We'll eat our appetizers and... She shakes her head.
I'm finished with mine.
Yeah.
He laughs. Of course, how could I forget? So then would you like to move on to the main course now?
Hmm.
The next part of the meal?
Ah, yes. With the larger portions.
Hendrik points to her menu.
So, what are you thinking about? I always like steak, but I admit I was kind of thinking about splurging on the...
Hey, Human John.
I snap to attention. Yes, ma'am?
Choose. Do it promptly and wisely, or else I'll need to consume something else for my main course.
She's staring me right in the eyes, and her gaze lingers on my mouth. She stares at my teeth and licks her lips. Ugh.
Could she eat my teeth?
Well, I think that you would enjoy... Now see, I'd personally go for the porterhouse myself. I think if we offer her the squid ink pasta, she'll kill us.
I can produce my own ink, mortal.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go... We have live lobster here. It worked. Look at all of those very many too much on one face happy eyes. Hendrik gives a bit of a nod.
That's my order too. It's been a while, but this is a special night.
What? At what point did humans discover the joy of consuming live creatures?
Wait. She doesn't think I'll serve it to her while it's still...
No, sweetie, I'm afraid that most of us are still a touch prudish about that sort of thing. But they have a tank here, so the lobster is fresh.
Nothing as fresh as squeezing the life from a creature with your jaws. Feeling it writhe and struggle in a fruitless attempt to stave off the icy curtain of death.
Yep, I've heard of Vor. I'm a fan. I mean, not a fan. Hold on. All right. She's looking straight at my throat.
2 lobster dinners coming right up.
I rush away as quickly as I can. I try to convince the chef to let me serve 1 lobster live. I feel downright ghoulish, but between me and the crustacean, I'm going to defend myself every time. But her reaction is the same as last time. She prepares the dish as usual, hands them off to me, never making eye contact or reacting to anything I say.
What is this?
She lifts up the extra utensil. It's the lobster cracker. You use that to crack open the shell.
This is a fair idea, but it's such a waste, John. To use this on a deceased creature.
Well, if the food is dead, isn't it easier to consume? She waves a claw at me.
Not if you have to crack it open anyway.
Hendrik is already digging the meat out of his.
I like it. It's soothing to have a little tactile activity as part of your meal.
Teleoporia's claws slip on the lobster cracker.
Meat shield, how are you employing your tool?
Well, you put either end of the metal bit over...
Raise it up and demonstrate.
He holds the lobster cracker and one leg up, leaning forward so they're close enough for her to get a good look. She holds hers up, pantomiming his actions. Then promptly grabbing one of his hands, wrapping the cracker around his pointed finger and gripping it tightly.
Oh!
His finger juts out at an odd angle and blood drips onto the torn tablecloth. She cackles and throws the metal tool at his head.
Fool! I can easily employ such a simple item.
He's leaning away from his injured hand, the other on his face. Right you are. You got me. He sure does look embarrassed. It's really hard to tell through the pain. I mean, that's an expression of pain on his face, right? I guess she got him. He breathes heavily, trying to get himself under control. As though to prove a point, he goes right back to eating dinner. As though nothing were wrong. He is in an abusive relationship, but listen. Do I have to say anything? Really? I feel like I'm getting too close to a dangerous... Tentacles have suction cups. Anyhow, as though nothing were wrong. So before I go, is it everything to your liking? Is the food, powering your true form enough?
Silly John. When in my true form, I do not consume human fuel. This human template, what did you call it?
Hendrix caught mid-bite and he covers his mouth to respond.
Human sona. My human sona. It consumes calories, inhales oxygen, excretes feces. All the same as yourself, I assume.
I never expected to have a restaurant patron ask if I breathe and poop. But here we are.
But my true form requires something much more deeply sustaining.
She stares me down. She looks at my teeth again. She looks me in the eye. She holds that eye contact and waits. I try not to squirm, but my moxie is inadequate for this situation. She waits. And then laughs. I can breathe again.
Delicious. A light dusting of fear. Nothing too overwhelming.
If that doesn't strike her as much fear, please let me never learn what does. So you eat fear then?
It falls under my purview.
Suffering. Sweetie's true form eats concepts. And she builds her human sodas to have quite the taste for them too.
Fear does ruin the meat.
Any form of important emotion can sustain her, but she's picky.
I am not. Suffering is the only thing worth eating. Eating anything else would be beneath me.
It's okay, whatever you eat. I love you just the way you are.
And I would like you much better with several more stab wounds to the head.
Anytime, sweetie.
Though I manage to sneak away for the next 15 minutes, I know that I'll eventually have to return. So I went to high school with a handful of exchange students. One of them I have on Snapchat because I was in PE with him. His family is from Dubai, and they are super rich. I just looked at his story, and he's casually flying on a plane alone. On Valentine's Day? Couldn't be me. I know that I'll eventually have to return. Hey, show him stream. If you can afford if you can afford a plane by yourself, you can afford 100 subs. Anyhow, I try to strike up a conversation with the line cooks again. So, how do you guys feel about the recent tentacle invasion? Hey, if Spec Ops The Line is to be believed, then yes, it will be. Of course, nobody responds. Yeah, it's really hard to put it into words, huh? No response. Dishes click. I guess the spooky atmosphere has a certain charm, but I don't think it'll catch on with the baby boomers. Conventional wisdom says that they like elegance or rustic charm, and Midwestern moms are not into dripping fluids. I mean, as a general group. I don't want to assume individual tastes. It gets boring quickly, so after the appropriate waiting period, I head back over. So, thank you for dining with us tonight. I did it. I made it through the evening. I'm tempted not to not even give them the check, just to rush them right out the door. But I refuse to slip up now. It's been a delight getting to know the both of you. How kind of you! You know, I was planning on heading out, but you know what?
I couldn't care less if I attempted, and I am very powerful. I am capable of carrying far less than most humans could in their most apathetic dreams.
Let's do dessert.
Oh. Okay. I look from his smiling face to Taliaporia's cruel one. I know how this goes. Let's make a recommendation. My mind's telling me Banana Foster's flambe, but my body's telling me after dinner brandy. What do you guys think? How are we? Well, the flambe has liquor too, so it's a possibility. That's one for flambe.
I am the liquor.
Liquid smoke. All right. BRB. All right. Let's go. Bananas Foster flambe. Is my professionalism slipping? Must be.
What are we impregnating?
Oh, fuck.
Sweetie, it's a figure of speech.
I don't have that function this time around.
Sweetie, I think he's just tired.
That's okay. I think if I want this to be a truly satisfying night for our esteemed void goddess, then she's going to enjoy this dessert. Or at least, how we cook it.
What is this blethering about?
But I can't tell... But I can tell, I've got her hooked. We cook it tableside, with a huge flame. And there it is.
I'm not sure about this.
Looks like he's picked up on the pattern too. Oh, I insist. Don't explode, Crow. I don't even need to write this one down. One flaming dessert for table 6. I scramble about the kitchen, grabbing everything I need. Am I cleared to do this? Hell no. 2 weeks is not long enough to have permission to set things on fire next to the diners. But tonight's special, isn't it? I wheel the cart over. Feeling a mite chatty, I take my time prepping to light it on fire. So, congrats on getting out of... What did you call it? The cold place?
The void.
Void. God. What's it like in there?
Dark, cold, mostly barren. Locked for something approaching an eternity with nothing but your own thoughts. Unless one can become creative. I do my best to make creatures to fill it, but it is a vast expanse. Literally, endlessly big. But with nothing in it.
Yeah, I got part of your conversation before. You made your body, right?
Indeed, when rifts become open, I am able to seize not only heat, but stray matter. I model the majority of my creations after your carbon-based life forms. But modifications must be made.
I'll bet. If the void doesn't have any heat, or any of its own matter, you'd need to make a creatures that don't eat or breathe, right?
Good human. I model most of them after myself.
And you eat concepts.
Yes. After billions and billions of years, I have evolved over 1 million species of void creature. Nearly all of them feed as I do, on the concept of suffering.
So it's an endless, barren place with no light, no heat, where the only things that exist just go around preying on each other, suffering all the time.
Yes. Is it not marvelous? And someday, human John, there will be a rift large enough that it is not tiny scraps and stray humans which fall through, but your entire plane of existence. You will enjoy it.
Wouldn't I hate it? I got distracted there for a bit, but I grabbed the rum. Can't caramelize it right without a pretty flame. I mean, I don't enjoy suffering. You'd be surprised what humans can get used to.
I used the wrong English word. A closer translation might be resignation. You would become resigned to an existence saturated with pain. Enjoy isn't the correct term. Unless you're a disgusting cluster of miswired brain signals.
Love you too, sweetie.
I know what you're doing, Hendrik.
Hmm?
You think if you can keep delaying me with fancy dinners, stolen body parts, gentle words, and rough sex...
Could we not talk about our sex life in public? Thank you. She places a hand on his arm.
That you can stop me. You are as always, disgusting, but an appealing opponent.
Look out! And I light it up. The flame shines in her eyes, and I can feel the heat coming off of it. I should probably be keeping a close eye on it to make sure it's cooking properly. But looking over at Hendrik and Taliaporia, they're holding hands. So simply and happily. She's gripping his hand tightly from joy. And then she jerks him across the table. Straight into the flaming cart. Now that burn, that's one that could cause permanent damage. Though he may be lucky that that's the worst thing that's happened to him tonight. He executes a perfect stop, drop, and roll, and soon the flames are out. Eesh. Though he's far from unscathed.
Human, this was a fantastic dinner. Bring us a statement so that we may repay you for your noble worship and gifts.
I salute and wheel what remains of the upturned cart away. It's not long before I return with the bill in hand. He takes the check. He seems to do a bit of calculation in his head, then lays down some cash.
Well, this evening wasn't a complete waste of time and effort. Organ ravioli.
Hendrik looks up at her.
You may have one short, friendly embrace.
He jumps to his feet, arms wide open to hug her. And one of her tentacles slams into him, throwing his body across the room. It slams into the wall and ragdolls to the ground.
Hug transaction complete.
Oh no. Did you just kill him? She heaves a sigh.
Would I were so lucky. No, human. I have merely rendered him unconscious.
That's good.
Via severe cranial hemorrhaging.
That's bad.
He will sleep it off. I've ripped off his limbs before. He can take it.
She looks almost fond. She gets up, walks over to him, grabs him by the foot.
I suppose it's time to return him to his residence.
She perks up.
Or I can abandon his body in a trash unit. Perhaps nobody will find him, and he will be placed inside a trash compactor.
As she turns to drag him away, I ask, Miss Taliaporia. She turns quizzical.
Human, I am departing. You've made it through this evening unscathed. You have little to no ability to comprehend how fortunate that makes you. But I suggest you make an attempt.
I clear my throat. I think I'm trapped. I gesture around at the restaurant.
Ah, yes. I had forgotten your world usually has even more light, does it not?
She shrugs.
Well, I had no hand in this.
And with that, she waves aside a tentacle and marches through the front door. Hendrik's head thuds against the ground as she walks down the staircase and out of sight. When I hear the front door close, another server bumps me in the shoulder stepping past. They give me a dirty look and keep heading their way. Just like that, I'm back. I get moving, clearing the tables, scooping up the check. I check the tip. 40%. It might not cover emotional distress, but it'll cap off the shift well. This was,
Touch me harder.
Hey, Ryan. You just missed us dating it, or whatever we were doing. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Raiders. Tonight is the Dating Sim Extravaganza.
Pills here.
Oh, thank you for the follow, DJ. Welcome. I feel a little underdressed now. There we go. How's everybody doing? Yeah, it's about to get worse because the next game we're going to do is called The Ratchular. It's a rat dating show sim. So that's fun. Howdy. This was quite the experience. But for my own safety, I think I'm going to skip the 2 weeks notice. I came here to learn something new. And I'd say that goal was more than accomplished. Ending 4, a hug goodbye. Sadly, you can't hang out for the rat dating sim. Ah, come on. Just lurk and listen in the background. You'll hear all the rat sounds. But good night. Thank you for joining for even the briefest of moments. And the follow. I appreciate that. Ah. Absolutely not. Understood. Understood. I feel like I need to be on better behavior now that Ryan's here. Ah, come on now. Hey, you got a ride here? You in here too? Hell yeah. Oh, man. Somebody drink my beer. Oh, yeah. It's definitely going to be way better. All right, let's exit this motherfucker. However, there we go. Cool. I'm actually going to give you guys a choice, as is my prerogative. I'm going to start a poll. So, who do you want to see me date? What the that? Hi. That scared the shit out of me. Oh, man. All right. I'm going to turn off the additional votes on this poll. I'm going to extend it to a full 2 minutes. Because I'm curious to see what all of you guys... Huh? All right. So those are your two options. Do you want to see a fish dating sim or a rat dating sim? They're both free, so how can I say no, personally? The answer is I can't. I'm trapped in this prison of flesh and I cannot escape. Life is tough. Life is Roblox. Or something. Never played Roblox. I mean, I played Lethal Company, so I guess that's the same thing. Nerd dating sims. Maybe. Everything was on Ultra. I guess while we're waiting, I can look at what was linked to me. There we go. All right, let's look at this. Since it is... I'm not signing into Reddit ever. Okay. All right. All right, Danny. Yeah, you have a good night, man. Thank you for joining. All right. Boyfriend takes me out for my birthday. Little did I know, it was I who was taking him and his friends out and paying for the whole thing. Ooh. TLDR, my now ex-boyfriend said he'd take me out for birthday dinner, but instead tricked me. Okay, that's 5 for the rat. That's crazy. I gotta see this. I gotta see the split on this. Like, 0 fish votes? That's crazy. It's the whole dead soulless eyes thing, right? I could have been playing music this whole time. All right. Let's read this story real fast.